Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, Andrew Bartolotta.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, where we bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making an impact in powering the good in our community and around the globe. I'm your host, Andrew Bartolotta, and today we're honored to have Jessica Corley with us. She's the Vice President of Development at Palmer Home for Children. Palmer Home is a faith-based organization dedicated to providing a safe and nurturing environment for children in need. And they offer a range of services from campus care to transitional programs, all while introducing the love of God to each child. We're here to discuss their impact and explore ways you can support their mission through their legacy program. Jessica, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it.
Of course. Okay, let's kick it off first by telling us about Palmer Home for Children's mission and maybe how it's evolved over the years.
Sure. So Palmer Home is such a special and unique mission. It's been around for almost 130 years, which is incredible. We're talking 1895. And of course, back then it started off as your traditional orphanage, but we have evolved so much to a multifaceted, holistic organization. Think of us as a private Christian alternative to the foster care crisis that's in America. And it truly is a crisis. And despite state's best efforts, it's still struggling because the need is so incredibly great. And that's where Palmer Home really steps into the gap. We're not just servicing children who are in the foster care system. We are providing alternatives. And we're serving children from infancy straight out of the hospital, the delivery room of incarcerated mothers, and all the way up to young adulthood who would have traditionally, as they say, aged out of the state foster care system. We're helping those 18 and up young adults find their way. And the plan and what we're seeing in our efforts is that those statistics, those vicious cycles where these children typically haven't seen what working a job looks like, what a healthy family looks like. We're stopping those vicious cycles right there. We're seeing 100% graduation rates, where nationwide foster children through the state it's typically around only 30% high school graduation rate. It's incredible what we're doing and how we're seeing our whole child initiative, our holistic approach to care, how that's impacting and changing these lives, changing their trajectory and giving them hope for their future. And another very special thing about our mission is that we always strive for reunification when it's healthy, safe, and possible. And that's hard work. That's messy. But we're seeing it. We're seeing so many reunifications with these families who just need a fresh start. They need some time to get back on their feet, to have what a healthy, successful family looks like modeled for them, and people to walk side by side them, licensed case workers, to help them every step of the way and make that possible.
The transition to adulthood can be challenging. How does Palmer Home's transitional care program help young adults from 18 on up prepare for independence?
Oh man, there's so much to it, but the short answer is guidance, and constant connection, support. So many of our young adults in our transitional program, they might live in one of our two transitional houses. We have a house for young men, a house for young women, or they might be living on campus at their college. We have children at Ole Miss. We have them at Memphis University, in Chattanooga, outside in Nashville. We have young adults pursuing their careers, whether it is college or a trade or whatever that may look like, whatever the best version of themselves. We want to help create that plan with them, help follow that plan through with constant connection, support, and direction. mentorship. Our licensed caseworkers help guide them through that path as we baby step them towards independence.
Jessica, what drew you personally to work with Palmer Home? What keeps you passionate about the work you do?
Oh man. What drew me to work at Palmer Home is ironically my spin instructor at the Memphis YMCA. She was working at Palmer Home, and she was about to move, and we were talking about fundraising, and she was talking about what she did. And I had, up until just recently, my sister had taken in a young adult who had aged out of the foster care system in Arkansas. And when I heard his story about how all the trauma he had endured through so many different foster homes being passed around multiple times a year, that can be up to 7 times a year. Kids get moved to a different home and different school, and then they get more behind. They're separated from their siblings, adding to their trauma. And then they're left to their own devices once they're 18 with such limited guidance on the front end, right? So knowing his story and getting to know him and him coming to live with my sister, he would have greatly benefited from a Palmer Home and all 4 of our programs, whether that's infants of incarcerated mothers, which we have our program out of Middle Tennessee at the Nashville Women's Prison. We have our private foster care families who we ask them to treat these children, even if they might be in some legal limbo or mom or dad are incarcerated or going through rehab and we're aiming for reconnection. We ask them to truly treat these children as if they are a member of your family for life. Then we have our campus care, which is so special. It helps keep those large sibling groups together. We've had sibling groups as big as 6 and 8 that would have been split up. In fact, it was CPS that reached out to us and said, can you help us, so that they stay together? And then our transitional program. But all of those programs would have benefited and changed his life for the better. And that made me so passionate and knew that this was a calling more than a career to help be that agent of change. And I'm a big believer that more money, more ministry, more money, more mission, that people's dollars and resources can truly change lives.
Beautiful answer. So let's talk about those dollars and how they can change lives. Great segue there. So let's talk about the Legacy Giving Program. What inspired Palmer Home to create this program? How does it support the long-term mission of the organization? Then dive into some of the ways people can use their legacy dollars to support the mission of over almost 130 years of the mission of Palmer Home.
Right. So one, I can reference my own personal journey with this. Me and my husband, we've got 2 young kids, and we were updating our will. And it's not fun to talk about, but it's absolutely necessary, because if you want to be generous, if you want to leave a legacy of love that's lasting, and have your life tell a story of what mattered to you, it's so important to leave a will. So whether you're leaving Palmer Home or your faith-based organization or whatever you're passionate about, it's so important that you include that, because it sends a message of intentionality and generosity to your loved ones. That's what's most important to me. Also, I would say when looking at organizations to support, it is important how long have they been around? Are they going to continue to serve that mission that you're so passionate for years and years to come? We're looking for sustainability, but on the flip side, leaving a legacy gift, a planned gift, in other words, provides so much sustainability for that organization as well.
And like you said, you have everything from bequests into that really, intentionality around, this is where I want my dollars to go way after I'm gone. And then you also have, life insurance policies, retirement plan assets. There's so many ways that people can use their dollars that they've worked hard for decades to leave a lasting impact. And what better way to do that than a nonprofit that's been around for over a century? And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's an incredible way to not only leave a legacy that makes an impact, but show your family and your friends that you can still make a difference. What ways can the community get involved with Palmer Home, even beyond some monetary donations?
Back to leaving a legacy, you can set up donor advised funds
Oh, yeah.
where you are, contributing to organizations now as opposed to afterwards. Enjoy the benefits of blessing through your resources now. There's charitable gift annuities, there's giving of appreciated assets now or later, and you can really reduce or eliminate those implications of capital gains, right? Then there's retirement assets. There's so many ways, but now you can get involved by volunteering. You can come out to our campus or reach out to any of our program and get involved, whether that's mentoring, tutoring, fostering, coming out and helping clean up our campus after a storm, plant flowers. Our house parents, they are busy taking care of up to 8 kids in each household. So just think of all the household things that they don't have time for. You can also get involved on our event committees. We have events all throughout the Mid-South and supporters all throughout the Mid-South because we're serving children because we're privately funded and operated throughout the United States. So you can always go to palmerhome.org and connect with us and find a way that's the best fit for your talents and time.
And so if you find yourself wanting to get your hands dirty and volunteer physically at Palmer Home, there are plenty of opportunities. I love that you also touched on donor advised funds where you can make a lasting impact while you're still here and see it come to fruition. I think that's a great way to move your dollars into impact. What puts a smile on your face, Jessica, when you look at the work that you're doing, you and your team, each and every day?
Just the direct life-changing impact. As I said before, I truly believe the more money we raise, the more lives we changed. Because every dollar raised, we can say yes to more children and families that are hurting and are in critical situations that need it the most. And when you hear these stories of moms reunified with their children after turning their life around, after being incarcerated or rehabilitation, and just the effort and the struggle and the smile on those kids' faces. And that's not always the case. Reunification isn't always the case. But also when you see children who came to us who maybe have never been to school, have never been to a doctor, are beyond the age of needing to read but can't. And then you see 1 year later the incredible transformation that they've made, their confidence, and just the hope that they have for their future, where before they had none. That's game changer right there. Just the smile on their face. We do this award ceremony at the end of each school year, and seeing these kids who I know came from us from dark, hard places, walk up to get their award for getting A's and B's, and knowing what they came from and the struggle that they endured and the smile on their face, it means the world to you. And it really drives your passion and energy towards making more change.
And just the adversity that these children have gone through, families, and how Palmer Home is making a lasting impact. Where can people go to learn more about Palmer Home for Children, support your efforts, set up some legacy giving? Let us know.
So go to palmerhome.org. And you want to donate, click on the donate button. If you want to learn more about legacy giving, we actually have a wonderful website. It's palmerhome.legacywill.org. And there's so many incredible resources. We even have a quiz that you can take to kind of determine what is the best tool or resource for you and your giving. We have connections to attorneys and CPAs, freewill.com, all sorts of resources for people if they don't know where to start. And one thing I would just suggest that, I hear so many people say, oh, I don't have that much resources to give. Well, you have the time to volunteer. Every dollar counts. Every dollar matters. There's no gift too big or too small. And that's the same for if you're leaving it in your will or not. But also, we are always so moved by the number of people that say they want to support Palmer Home in their will in lieu of flowers. And that's such a beautiful thing. And it costs that donor nothing. But it's just a generous gesture that their friends and loved ones can make. So it can be as simple and beautiful as that too. But go to palmerhome.org, figure out which way is best for you to support us, whether it's through our fundraising events, hosting an employee campaign at your office, finding out if your office, your corporation has matching gifts, to double your impact. There's just, the ways are endless. And I would say you can find my email and reach out to me as well.
Well, Jessica Corley, thank you for all you're doing at Palmer Home for Children. You're truly changing lives and providing a safe and nurturing environment for children in need. Thank you for powering the good and for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.